ever wondered just who packs up all of those bobby pins? Who puts the batteries in the pack? The pens that consume or you consume every day? Well, just open it and use it, and then we just assume that it's been done and it's been done right. Ankerpak is a company that was started in 2004 with John Anker, the president, and one other employee. And guess what? They service all kinds of companies like Ranger Joe's, Real Tree Outdoors, and Goody Hair. And today, John Anker is joining us. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here.
It's a pleasure, and it brings me such joy to know that right here in good old Columbus, Georgia, something as immense as Southern Made is here.
Well, we're just neighbors, aren't we?
Yes, we are. Well, let me ask you this. Does somebody grow up and say, I'm going to start a company that makes all kinds of stuff, from bobby pins to the packaging on a Sharpie?
That's not my story. I didn't grow up thinking, I was going to be a bobby pin manufacturer or manufacture any of these other products. I still don't know what I'm going to be when I grow up.
Uh-oh. Well, then that means that you're enjoying life.
I'm having a good journey. We are together.
Well, let's start from the beginning. What is the origin of Ankerpak?
Well, the origin was I really didn't know what I was going to do. And my story of being an entrepreneur and setting out to start a business was really one of desperation. I just stepped out and said, well, I want to try something, and I'm going to give it a shot. My wife was beside me. So the origin really was do what I could do with my hands and with a few small machines. And so we began just blister packaging and shrink wrapping products.
Okay, I'm going to stop you right there because I am intrigued, John. Who thinks of blister packaging? How did you look and say, what do people need that is not going away and they're willing to pay for it, or how did you get to that?
Well, I call my company, we're kind of a bottom feeder, and I didn't look for what the people need, I look for the companies. I go out to businesses and I try to find the things that the other businesses are struggling with or needing. They don't want to struggle with it. It's a distraction. So I'm a bottom feeder. I pick up the crumbs. So here in Columbus, we have a manufacturer of batteries. We used to have a manufacturer of batteries, and so there was some crumbs there that they didn't want to deal with, and that's what I picked up.
So the crumbs, was that the packaging?
That was the packaging. That was the blister packaging, putting products in the blister packs, and then. Ranger Joe's, for instance, needed some things shrink wrapped, and Goody Hair products needed some things manufactured, and there were things they didn't want to do, and so we were happy to pick them up.
You make it seem so common sense, and people are out there watching, going, "Why did I not think of that?"
I definitely, I'm not claiming to have any kind of common sense and smarts in that area. Again, it's just desperation. We wanted to do something. We wanted to serve a need, and so we found the need, and we went out and just worked hard.
We're talking about success also on the show this week. If you had to speak into someone's life and tell them, this is what I learned from starting Ankerpak, what would you say to them?
That's the thing I love to do the most, because I don't consider myself being real successful, but I do enjoy the journey. And the thing I have learned the most is to enjoy all the journey, even the trials and the hard times. And I think we've only been in business for 9.5 years, and we could have gone out of business 4 times by now due to some of the variables that have come across our plate and the Great Recession. But the thing I would tell others to try to encourage them is not to give up, and those trials make you stronger and they make you a better man.
So that is true. That's not just a quote.
It's not just a quote. And then on my desk is Winston Churchill's. It's not just a statement. It was his whole speech when he said, "Never, never, never give up." And that's, if you're going to go in business, I tell people, I've never worked so hard for so little money and had so much fun. And you really got to be willing to work hard and not make a lot of money. And you got to enjoy the journey, because getting there and achieving something isn't going to be rewarding if you're not enjoying the journey.
Well, isn't this part of the reward too, that because you listened to that inner voice, you stepped out on your faith and your beliefs, people are working and paying their bills because you have, what, 100 employees?
Yeah, we have about 70 full-time employees, and we have some temporary and through an agency and W-2 temporary. So yeah, I encourage everybody. I don't see myself as their sole provider, but I do see myself trying to encourage them, and they're happy. We have a good family of people, and I think we've seen people leave Ankerpak to take other jobs, and they come back and say, "We really like working here. Will you bring us back?"
Oh, man.
And so we really do have a good family.
That's great affirmation. Yes. Now, I heard you say something else, that you were feeling desperate and you really wanted to get this started. and your wife was behind you. I spoke with Steve Harvey about a week or so ago, and that was a problem with him and one of his early wives. He wanted to be a comedian, but she wasn't behind him. So how important was it that your wife said, okay, John, we're going to do it?
Well, you know, my wife, she wouldn't be here sitting in this seat. I don't think it's her thing to do, but it is really the largest part of my success. And earlier part in our marriage together, we had some trials, and I don't think she was really willing and ready earlier in our marriage to take the sacrifice that it really does take as a couple to go through those hardships. But we had hardships in our personal life in other areas, and that prepared us for the hardships we were going to have as
So then it goes back to that. Those trials make you stronger.
They make you
We've
stronger.
been through something already.
Yeah. So the whole journey of our marriage really, you know, it's just the journey of life is going through those times together.
Now, I was reading some background that you just have a smorgasbord of things that you make. Before we go, let them know of a lot of the different things that Ankerpak is involved with.
Well, when we started 9.5 years ago, we didn't have any money, no equipment, so we just did packaging services. So Ranger Joe and Realtree, I heard you say that at the beginning of this, that they were our first customers, and they gave us our products, and we just kitted them and packaged them. And then as we started to expand out into blister packaging, people said, well, we want you to provide the boxes that go into it. Started manufacturing boxes, and we supply a regional company with corrugated boxes that we manufacture. Then Goody, one of our biggest customers, was going out. We started manufacturing bobby pins. Then another company in Tennessee went out. We started manufacturing the Sharpie China markers. And then last year, another company, and then we hadn't been talking about this, but we acquired the assets of a commercial compressor remanufacturing company that's been in business 40 years. So now we're doing that all under one roof.
What is a commercial compressor remanufacturer?
Well, it's a commercial refrigeration or AC unit and called GFA compressors, and they've been right here in town since 1969. And now we moved them into our building with the same employees. They all are now working at Ankerpak, and we're doing the same thing with the same great service and brand behind it.
Excellent. Now, before we go, we've got about 30 seconds. People are watching. They're going to wonder, are you hiring, John, or are you full?
Well, you know, our hiring does go up and down. That's why we've got 100 people in the building, but only 70 permanent employees. And you know, I wouldn't say that we're hiring right now. It's just hard, and the second half of the year is going to be harder. Things aren't getting easier for small businesses, by the way.
Yes.
And we got to be real mindful of the changes that are coming. I think a lot of companies are real mindful of that. So.
Well, congratulations on your
Well,
success.
thanks.
I so enjoy these Southern-made segments, learning what is right here up under our noses the whole time.
I'm happy to visit with you.
It was a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
Me too.
Well, don't go away. We are talking about speeding ticket quotas. Police departments saying that they have to have so many tickets a day or they're not going to get paid. An Auburn police officer says he's a whistleblower and he blew the whistle on him. We'll talk about that when we come back. Don't go away.